Section 2.3, homework problem number 18. So the example that I gave is very similar. So what I did was I changed 2/3 to 3/5, and then I changed 3/4 to 1/2. Everything else is almost exact the same. So first we need to make math drawings, and then we use the drawings to solve the problem. And after that, we also need to answer what are the unit amounts for each fraction, and pretty much what's the whole. So again, unit amount means the whole. What's the whole for a fraction? So again, we talked about this in class. Every fraction, a fraction means a portion. I mean, it's always a portion of something. So this of something, this something is always the whole. So for example, 3/5, and it's a fraction. Now we search for the whole for this fraction, 3/5 of a ton. So a ton is the whole for 3/5. So what I did is, if you can see this entire paper strip from here left end all the way to the right, that's 1 ton, which is the whole. So that is the whole for 3/5. Okay, so when you start, you will just draw a very long piece because we have to divide this, so make sure it's kind of long. Now we divide into 5 equal parts. Originally we didn't have the red cuts, so you're just gonna have to draw. I'm gonna try and see if I can get 5 equal parts here. Well, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4. And that one is a little bit short, so I'm gonna try to extend that. Okay, so use a ruler to help you. And so when you have 5 equal parts, and shade 3 parts because we have 3 out of 5. All right, so that's what Ken ordered. So this is the yellow part is the ordered amount. Now, but what he actually received was half of a ton. So the second fraction, also pay attention to the whole, because this will tell you. So when you draw, I guess here you can see I'm labeled the first one as ordered, the second one is received. Now, because these two have the same whole, so that's why when I draw the second paper strip, I made sure they are identical sizes. But if this says 1/2 of something else in another whole, it may not, so they will not be the same size. But in this case, both are a portion of a ton. So when I draw the second one, I will have to make sure it's exact the same, because for the one problem, for a ton as the whole, and that's a ton, and this is also a ton, of course that's the same size. But he received only half of a ton, so we're going to divide this into 2 equal parts, so roughly right here, and we're gonna shade 1 part. That's why he received it. And notice that he did receive a little bit less than what he ordered. So what the question is, what fraction of his order did he receive? Which means what he received is what portion or what fraction of what he ordered. Okay, so right now we cannot answer. When we look at these two drawings, we cannot really answer this question. Because you cannot say, okay, well, he received 1 part, and he ordered, looks like he ordered 3 parts, so he received 1 out of 3, which is incorrect, because this 1 part is much bigger than each part here. So right now we cannot really answer the question. So in order to answer the question, we have to make sure every part. So in these 2 different drawings, the paper strips, we have to make sure the parts must have the same size. So that's what we have been talking about in this section, equivalent fractions. So notice that 3/5, the parts, and look at right here, each part is, let's use this color. Well, okay, use this color. So each part is this big. But in the second fraction, because the denominator is 2, the part is this big, much bigger. We cannot compare the parts. but we can convert them to the same denominator. From the second problem, we learned how to convert them into the fractions with the same denominator. So you start with the 5, the denominator 5 and denominator 2, and you try to multiply a number and one number to end up with the same number. Again, so you can multiply by the other number 2 here, the other number 5 here, so you end up with a 10. So what we do is with the first fraction, we're going to multiply the denominator by 2. Correspondingly, we have to multiply the top number by 2. For the second fraction, multiply the bottom by 5. Correspondingly, multiply the top number by 5. So we end up with the 6/10 and 5/10, which is demonstrated in the drawing. So again, from the first homework problem we did, whenever you multiply a fraction by a number, whether it's 5 or 2, you are subdividing the original piece. So for example, for the first paper strip, and because I'm multiplying by 2, which means we're subdividing each part into 2 smaller parts. So all we have to do is to cut each piece into 2 more equal parts. Okay, but in the second fraction, we multiply by 5. That means you have to subdivide this piece into 5 equal parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have to do the same thing for the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now if you look, each slice must be the same size. And from the fraction, you can tell the size of each part. The definition is 6 parts, size of each of size 1/10. 5 equal parts, each of size 1/10. So both of them now have the same size, 1/10. Originally, one of them has the size 3 parts, each of size 1/5. 1 part, each of size 1/2. That's totally different sizes. And from the drawing, you can also tell. So here, how did I end up with these 2 drawings? You have to actually start from that. Okay, so now well, let's look. Again, the yellow part that I shaded, I probably should get rid of these green colors. You can use my new drawing, or you can, oh, well, actually, I probably shouldn't do that. So you can just focus on this drawing. Now, what he ordered he ordered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts, but he actually only received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. Again, they are same sizes. So what he received is 5 out of what he ordered, 6. So that's the answer, 5, 6 of his order. Okay, now that's the first part. Second part, we want you to talk about the unit amount. Oh, I probably didn't. I kind of explained it here, but I didn't really write this down clearly. So I should have added here. So for example, what is the unit amount for 3/5? So the unit amount or the whole for 3/5 is right here, a ton. Actually, for both of them the same, so maybe to save some writing, I'm just gonna write down these 2 together. For 3/5 and 1/2, the unit amounts for both of them are a ton. Okay, so that's the unit amount or the whole. But the answer, we got a 5, 6. The whole for that is not a ton anymore. It's actually his order, which is 3/5 of a ton. So the unit amount for 5, 6 is the what he ordered. If you want to be more specific, he did not order a ton. It's not a ton. It's only a portion of a ton. All right, so that's the first part, part A. Now, part B, in solving this problem, how do 2/3 and 3/4 each appear as equivalent fractions, which we already have the answer here. So you can see 3/5 can be converted to an equivalent fraction 6/10 by multiplying both numerator and denominator by 2. So 3/5 appears as 6/10, and 1/2 appears as 5/10 by multiplying 5.